can. Gym-xiety.
Yeah, Gym-xiety, the topic of today. First thing I want to ask is for any of our current members right now, if you guys are listening, to please comment below if you've ever had these feelings yourself. So that way somebody that is listening that maybe has it and thinks that they're the only one going through this will see just how many people have had this problem, and maybe they'll reach out to you if it's somebody that they know, and they'll feel a little bit more comfortable having that conversation, and then hopefully we're going to build your comfort level in maybe walking into a gym somewhere. So, but first, let's go through our wins of the week. Josh, what are your wins for this past week?
Yeah, so my win this week is really goes back to a podcast a couple of weeks ago, turning a struggle into an opportunity, and I kind of had to shift gears and turn it into a win. So we had our first big travel ball weekend of the summer where my wife and I are split at different tournaments. I'm traveling 2 hours away. The whole tournament gets turned upside down because of rain. So my food plans just go awry because we end up not being where we're supposed to be, that I'm staying overnight. I run out of food. I had to even have a meal one night at a fast food restaurant late, which is totally out of character. But it happened. Just shifted gears, made the best of it, made the best choices I could. And now I've learned the lesson of next time that I've got to plan even better. So again, turning that struggle into an opportunity and made a win out of it. So, Jessica, what do you have?
Well, ironically, kind of ties a little bit into today's topic, and it's about stepping outside of your comfort zone, which leads into the gym-xiety, right? So for me, my big win was last week's podcast and stepping outside of my comfort zone in a very big step, huge jump, and sharing my story and my personal experiences with people. That was definitely difficult, but I know in the end, my journey will help other people. So I'm super happy I did it. And I'm happy I took that chance and took that leap.
Yeah,
Nice.
absolutely.
Mine is going to be a client text message that I received the other day. It was amazing. One of a lady that I've been working with on our 12-week transformation program, she decided to get off the sidelines. She's always been just sitting on the side, never participating in adventures, and she took a leap of faith and went on an adventure with her husband. And she texted me back that, I'll just read it verbatim, it felt amazing. I had tears of pride when I finished. I tell you all the time, but you have truly changed my life. Thank you just isn't enough. So to get a message like that is hard to beat. So I can't think of a better win that I could have this week than that. And to, it just excite me to who can I get that next message from like that? And who can we truly change or help change? She did all the work, not me. But to be a part of it is incredible. So that is my win of the week. And now let's get into this gym-xiety talk. It's been popping up a lot lately. I don't know why. Maybe it's just that we've been saying it more, or maybe people are becoming more aware of this as like a real thing, and bringing it to light, I think, is important. And hopefully today, the biggest thing I think we could get out of this is, if somebody new listening is that you feel and understand that you're not alone on this one, and you're actually part of the majority opposed to the minority. Only 20% of people actually have gym memberships in the world. So there's 80% of people who don't have a gym membership, and I know they want one. I know everybody wants to have a home a place where they could call home in their gym and fitness world, and they just are too scared to go out and find it or don't know what to do. And I think gym-xiety is probably the leading cause and what's really holding people back. So if we can get that out of today and make just one person feel confident to go walk into any gym, I don't care what gym it is. There's lots of good options around here in town. Just pick one and give it a shot. And if somebody does that because of today, this is a success. So, like I said, current members, again, if you've been through this, you felt it. I know you have. please comment below today. So this is an opportunity for people to reach out to you and maybe feel comfortable with it. So I'm going to get into with our current members and how they still have Gym-xiety even after they've been here. I know people have been here for a long time and still feel it. And Josh, I know you know this, for as long as we've been doing this, when we ask somebody to just switch times when they have to come to a group that they don't know everybody, what happens?
They tend to not show up.
While people have been coming here for years, but when they come and see the same people every time they work out for year after year after year, and then all of a sudden they got to show up, it's like almost being a brand new member again.
Yeah. When
you got to walk into that new group of people that you may or may not know, and again, the likelihood somebody reschedules is probably more like 50%, maybe even a little bit lower when we try to get them to do that. Jessica, have you seen it in the short amount of time that you've been here?
Of course. I actually felt it myself. When I first started at Pulse, I was leaving I run outside a lot, but I was leaving the gym that I worked out at all the time. And so I didn't know really anyone that worked out at Pulse. So not only was I walking in there, not knowing anyone, and I felt like, everyone was going to stare at me. But I mean, really, would you ever look at someone and think, oh my goodness, why are they coming to the gym? So what really is the fear based on, right? No one is ever going to be disappointed that you're taking care of your health and fitness. If anything, it's the complete opposite of the story that you tell yourself. But I was definitely nervous walking in the first time, thinking everyone's eyes were going to be on me, wondering why I was there and what I was doing. And by the time the hour was over, I'm walking out saying goodbye to, 10 different people and creating new friendships and a new support system. So it's real. Everyone has it.
Yeah, it's definitely real. And, to me, it makes some sense to why people have it. There's a lot of horror stories out there. There are people, unfortunately, that have, make comments to other people or, do have judgments in different places. I like to think we do probably the best job out there of making people feel comfortable to where it does seem crazy because we're around new people all the time. But I've heard of people, the story of working with another trainer that totally kicked their ass to where they couldn't even move the next day and made them feel terrible and made them feel bad about themselves because they couldn't keep up, or instructors in classes that are constantly yelling at you to hurry it up or pick up the pace, and just adding that extra pressure to somebody who's just getting started. I could definitely see it being scary, and it makes sense to me why somebody would have those nerves and that anxiety. And that's why I think, we've really dialed that piece in and really take that into account when somebody's getting started. Is the number one priority is how can we make this person feel so comfortable and so at home that, after one time they're over it. And I think we have a pretty good success rate with that.
I do too. I know I felt that way at the end of my first workout. I know all of my clients have felt that way after coming in and working out for the first time. That's one of the big conversations we always have right beforehand, is a lot of times they'll text me to let me know that they're there because they're nervous about walking in the door. So I come right to the front door and I meet them and greet them. And no, we don't kick their butt on the first day.
Yeah, we want this to be fun. We want this to be enjoyable for people. Another, the big one, Josh, too, that, which we've had to navigate around is, a long time ago, we found that even if Josh was going to cover for me, or Josh, if I covered for you,
Yeah, the biggest thing we would have is if they found out that somebody different was going to be there, people just wouldn't come, come to workout. They'd use that as an excuse to not come. So we kind of changed our format, and we just don't tell people when we're going to be gone. So it's just surprise, you have a substitute today.
Yeah, and and I don't think they're using it as an excuse. I think it's honestly there is a fear factor, that anxiety
Sure, okay.
of like,
Yeah.
I don't know Jeff, I don't know what he does, or I don't know Josh, or I don't know Jessica, and I don't know what kind of workout are they going to put me through. Are they going to kick my butt? Am I going to be able to move the next day? And all these things, these stories that they tell themselves really start to take over, and it causes them to, it's just easier if I skip today. And I don't think it's that they ever want to. It's that fear of the unknown causes that anxiety to, cause a decrease in attendance, like I said. So that's why we just stopped. And we stopped telling people, not because we want to surprise them, but like we need to show them that the experience is going to be the same.
Yes.
And we can't do that if they're not here. So, like, yes, while it's a little bit deceptive in one aspect, it's for their benefit is why we do it, because we're going to show people. And after it happens, most people are always like, oh, yeah, Josh, it was fine. Everything went fine. He did things maybe a little different, but I was okay, and we still had fun. And shit, sometimes people like you guys more than me. So that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Different doesn't have to be bad. It's just different.
Yeah, just different.
Yep.
So, like I said, and even, just anxiety, with current clients, when we get too into routine and stuff, even with our workouts, when we try to bring something new into the exercise world, try a new exercise, people get a little anxiety to step up on the bands to do a pull-up. There's nothing that brings the nerves higher than that exercise, when we know they're going to be perfectly safe and fine and nobody's ever gotten hurt with them. I can see the anxiety that it brings to take on that new challenge sometimes.
And putting your feet in the TRX.
Also another one. So what about, let's talk about people with gym-xiety outside of the gym, who aren't members of the gym. And let's see if we can maybe, pick apart some of the things that they're feeling and see if we can relate to them and how we can make them feel more comfortable. So Jessica, do you have any initial thoughts on somebody, what somebody outside of the gym who's thinking about joining a gym might be thinking, and how we can maybe potentially make them feel more comfortable before they step foot in here?
It's a good question. Well, I'll just go from my point of view with this one. What I personally felt was I didn't know what to expect when I walked into Pulse. I had no idea what was going on in there. Kind of like I said last week, I thought you guys were all just in there, bench pressing. I didn't know what was going on. So I would just suggest that if you have questions or if you are curious, just reach out and send us a message. Just reach out to any one of us on Facebook, or you can reach out to us through our website, or we're now on Instagram. You can reach out through there. You can email us. Just ask us whatever question it is. If you want to know anything about the gym, if you wanted to come in and just take a look around, we would be more than happy to show you. It's usually a fear of the unknown. So let us answer those questions for you so they're not unknown anymore.
Yeah, I mean, and we start, anytime somebody new signs up here, they never just go right into a group. You're going to walk in the doors and we can schedule a time where there is no class, there is nobody else in here, and show you around with nobody else in the gym and sit down and discuss all your questions. And a lot of times that really helps put people at ease before they even get into their first group, and show them, let people come in and just feel what it's like to just walk in the doors and get to meet us. And hopefully this podcast itself is introducing us to you and giving you a little bit more comfort in who we are and how we help people. So, Josh, what about you? You got any thoughts on the anxiety that people might be feeling about joining a gym?
I think Jessica nailed it on the head there. kind of the biggest thing I would say is I've heard it over and over. I've experienced it is, the heaviest weight in the gym is that front door. And so once you get that open, you're going to be hooked. We've just got to get you over that hump to open that front door. That's what it takes. I was nervous the first time. I never worked out at Pulse before I worked there, but I was nervous the first time I came to work there because I had never worked in an environment like that. But you just one foot in front of the other, open that front door. Every time, we go on vacation, you step in a different gym and what have you. I'm nervous every time. I still am. But I know I've got to do it. So go open that front door, lift that weight, get in there, and 5 minutes later, you're comfortable, you make it happen, but you just got to open that front door.
Yep, it's definitely the hardest step to take. That first one inside is, undoubtedly the hardest one to take. And, again, for somebody out there that, if you're not part of a gym, I know you want to be, and everybody does. So it's going to take some motivation and some willpower. A lot of times we want to talk about not using motivation and willpower, but unfortunately that's what it's going to take on this first action step. Is going to take some motivation and that willpower to overcome what you're currently going through that you want to correct. So, like I said, I don't know what else that we can say other than that we're here for you. Otherwise, again, if it's not here, there's lots of other options around town. Find out, call around and ask, see what is the best fit for you. But definitely find a home somewhere that's a gym that you can get your exercise in.
And we forgot to bring up the big elephant here, that Tina's not with us.
Oh, yeah.
She is away. But if Tina was here, she would say that she's super approachable and to give her a message if you want to talk about both.
Yeah, I didn't even, things were going so smooth without her, I didn't even realize she was gone.
Oh, don't say that.
I'm just kidding. Yeah,
she's going to yell at you for that.
I know, that's why I say it when she's gone. She can't yell at me until she hears it next week.
She tried to get on, but she kept freezing.
Yeah, and
so
I'm sure Tina would have some good input too. So if anybody has questions for her, again, the biggest thing you can do, reach out to one of us, send us a message, send anybody a message. Hopefully some of our members will comment below, send them a message. They'll be happy to tell you what the experience is like. And hopefully today you can start your journey on finding your new gym home.
Doesn't have to